Hello. So today I want to talk about a question that was given to me on social media, and it was right in line with what's been on my mind a lot lately, and it was like a perfect opportunity to sort of dive into it because I thought instead of just answering in a minute reel video, or no, I do stories. Instead of doing that, um, I can make a longer video on YouTube about it. So, what do you do to get out of a funk? What do you do to get out of a funk? First, if you resonate with this question, you're like, yes, oh my God, yes, help me. I want to get out of a funk. What do you mean by funk? That's where we need to start. So you can ask yourself that. You could pause the video and just stop listening right now and do that inner research on your own. But here's what I think. When I think of funk, I think that that word is saying something about you feeling out of alignment, you feeling overly sad, overly stuck. And when I'm saying overly, I mean there's a time and place for sadness, just like there's a time and place to have a lull in life. But when there's inner suffering, then that's a sign of funk. There's some level of unalignment, maybe feeling stressed, or like things have been in discomfort and suffering beyond a point that feels healthy. Because I do believe there are times in life where we are meant to feel sad, we are meant to be slower, we are meant to maybe be experiencing harder emotions than other times, and really that's all okay. That's part of life and growth. But the difference is when it's a funk, it means you're stuck in it. It feels like it's been too long, and I would say there's something that's out of alignment. You're thrown into a pattern that is not serving you, and you are continuing the pattern in a way that is harming yourself in some way or another. So I'm gonna go with that sort of really broad definition of funk, and I'm gonna have to probably narrow it down one day and decide what is that. And it's a lack of balance within. It's a lack of, that's how it feels, right? Like something's off. I'm not well, I'm not right. I think it's now reached the unhealthy point of feeling this way. And I want to know what's underneath that, what's happening, why am I in this funk? And so the question, how do you get out of a funk? We go back to that question. So to me, it seems that a funk happens, you get thrown off, you are caught in suffering for far too long when you are out of touch with your inner stillness. When there is a constant motion about you or inside of you, that means when you are overthinking, when you are overspending financially, when you are over-identified with one emotion, when you are, so what I'm trying to get at is an overspending of emotion, of energy, of finances in some way is the opposite of having inner stillness. And when we are still, we are clear about our path. We have clear messages about our life and what we need to do and who we are, inherently good, lovable, amazing human beings. When we are still, we are in touch with those messages that make sense, and they're very clear about your worth, what you're here to do on a daily basis, and you feel good about doing it. May not be that you absolutely love what you do for work. Maybe it's not your favorite thing, but this is just an example. But you can bring purpose to your work. You feel somewhat connected, and you have a sense of your own worth. You feel, okay, so I'm getting a little overboard. So that is what happens when you have inner stillness. You're in touch with that information. You're in touch with that side of yourself. When you're not still, you are overthinking, overspending money, overspending energy, overly identified with an emotion, something like that. So because you're overspending or overspending energetically, financially, or whatever, you have to return to stillness to calm it down. How do you do that? You meditate, you focus on breathing, you work at being conscious in everything you do. So you don't just rush around from thing to thing. You notice yourself behaving. You say, I've been really stressed out. Take ownership of that. There's nothing wrong with it. You just caught an observation. I've been really stressed out. I need to be still because I need to hear what I need to settle this down, to calm myself, to soothe myself. I need to be still because I recognize that I have been really snappy with people. I've been really angry lately. I've been eating really bad. I've been, going to bed really late, waking up too late or too early, whatever. And I notice that I'm thrown off. I've been this way emotionally. I've been this way in my behavior. I've been, sweating more at night than normal, or I've been adding extra body fat to my body. I've been losing hair. You notice in clarity, you say with ownership, this is what's been going on. Emotionally, I've been here. Mentally, I've been here. Physically are these other signs of stress. And I need to do the opposite of a stressed out person's solution, which is to keep doing. And instead, I need to go and be still, connect to the inner me, connect to my inner wisdom. I need to slow everything down and be calm. And then I need to listen to what do I need to do to assist myself, to get assistance out of this funk, out of this stress mode, this sad mode, this, depressed mode that I've been in too long. So you notice it, you take ownership for how you've been operating as a whole human being. Physically, you might notice I've been sleeping really bad at night. I've been drinking way too much coffee. I've been gaining body fat that doesn't seem like healthy body fat, and that's very subjective. So just think, we're meant to have some fat on our bodies. If you're like professional bodybuilder or something like that, then okay, there's going to be times where you sacrifice blah blah blah. But I'm saying most humans are not. We want to be healthy no matter what we do. Even if you're a professional person and your body leanness depends on it, you want to do it as healthy as possible. But most of us don't need to worry that much about our body fat. But there are going to be times when you notice this amount of body fat is showing me some level of toxicity or trouble eliminating, and I'm holding on to excess fat just as I'm in an excess of mental thinking. Maybe I'm overthinking, overanalyzing. I'm getting kind of paranoid, or I'm getting a little overthinking, trying to plan for the future. Maybe I kind of lost my train of thought for a second. So maybe I'm really sad, and I'm over identified with these feelings of depression, sadness. Maybe I'm comparing myself a lot to people, and that's making me feel inferior. And there's this excess of emotions in some way going on. It could be excess of anger, excess. But what excess means is it's not in a healthy, supportive way to you and those around you. Because if you're healthy, then you're going to impact others around you in a healthy way as well. But if you are hurting yourself, if you yourself are hurting, of course, that's going to cause, hurt in your relationships, or at least unalignment. So you have to take ownership of the physical, mental, and emotional places, and energetic and physical, I already said that, places that you've been. Once you see that, you just ask for help, but you have to be in a still place to receive the information. That's called right action. What is my right action? We all have a sense of right action. When we all deep down know what we need to heal and grow. We all deep down know it. But most of us, when we're running around in constant motion and overspending, we are pulled away from that inner knowing of what am I meant to do to help this? What's in my highest and best interest? In order to receive that wisdom within, you have to slow down to receive it, because it's very clear. It's not complicated, but it's at a different frequency. It's at a steady, easy frequency to pick up, but you're up here, charged up, constant static. So you lose touch with the easy, calm, clear messages that are visually. I'm kind of just picturing it like a very calm undercurrent. And when we're in stress mode or sympathetic mode or chaos or, a funk, we're in this static mode that doesn't allow us to retrieve the information that's right beneath us, ready right there to pick us up, and help us. And I know I'm talking about it in kind of like a vague way, like maybe it's like, it could be spiritual, it could be just very practical, very, very practical. But yeah, so how I retrieve that information when I've noticed that I'm going, spiraling into a funk, or noticing I'm overdoing something, or just out of balance, out of alignment with myself, I get still. I prioritize meditation, that very day and moving forward. And it's natural that we might kind of fall away and forget again, and then we come back, and then we fall away and we kind of lose sight, and then we return. Oh yeah, I need to be still. I need to be more still. I need to do it deeper, more intentional, longer. I need, you will have a clarity of what you need. And hopefully the more you come back to that inner knowing, the less frequent those funks become, and the less often they happen. The less often they happen, and the shorter term they are, is what I was trying to say. So yeah, it's practice. It's, we're just humans doing our best, souls in a human body doing our best. So it's practice. It's, part of this life, part of the purpose of life, I believe, if you're a human on earth, is learning how to integrate into this body, into the world. Like, how do I do this? This is, life is hard sometimes. It's honestly kind of like confusing sometimes. It can be really tough, and it can be really, hard to figure out at times. But then when we return to that inner stillness, we're reminded of like our personal rules. Oh yeah, when I do this and this, I'm much healthier. So I'm gonna provide that for myself, because I do better all around when I'm doing XYZ. Like, that's the point of life, is to constantly integrate that knowing, that knowledge that we have of how to take care of ourselves, how to heal, how to grow, how to contribute, how to open our hearts and receive love and give love. All of these things are really, really simple, but we forget the simplicity, and we forget the messages if we're in static mode. If there's a, like that crazy static energy, or it's like I'm overthinking all the time, I'm overindulging in one way or another, doing something too much, and I'm out of balance. We lose sight of the simplicity. But our purpose is to remember the simplicity and integrate it into our bodies, into our daily life, so we live a balanced life, so we can sustain these positive habits that are based off of that really clear, simple wisdom that's within. We're all, operating from the same wisdom here. So it's very simple, very clear. Stillness, being still, that answers so many issues, but it's almost too simple for people sometimes. Like, we live in this age where scientific explanations are overvalued, and simple inner wisdom is undervalued. So we can have both, and we should. That's balance. But right now there's an overemphasis on the details and getting more specific and really, amplifying something to the point that it makes it complicated, but it sounds smart, or there's just so much research behind it, or something like this, right? But fundamentally, there are very few universal laws that are going to guide us and keep us healthy and growing. And those universal laws are found within, as much as there can be, read about and listened to. Like, I'm speaking about them now, but there's a part of you that recognizes what I'm saying. So it's like, it too. We all do. We all come into this life knowing it. It's just a matter of remembering it. So again, how we remember is we become still first. We just sit and we have the patience to be with our thoughts, notice our thoughts and not judge our thoughts. We have the willingness to observe ourselves with honesty and compassion, and to not react to what we find, but to sit with it. And when we sit with it, we learn about ourselves, and we start hearing good ideas of what to do next. It's like, we could go farther into it, but that's kind of where I think I'll stop today. It's like, I don't know, I just felt like talking about that made a whole new train of thought that I wasn't really prepared or expecting to follow. So yeah, anyways, how we get out of a funk. I think it's that simple. We got to start with being still and sitting with what there is there. Just observe and listen to messages that come through, and even notice your tendency, or notice that aspect of you that might be very uncomfortable with the stillness. You doing that might bring up emotions that are hard, and that's okay. And then you'd ask yourself, why is this emotion hard? And you will have an answer, a clear answer, if you can just stay calm and still and be very conscious of what you're asking and then the information that you're receiving, because you will be able to have this conversation with yourself, very fluid, back and forth. Why are you scared? Why are you uncomfortable about stillness? Why does this stillness make you feel X, Y, Z? And you can just ask those sort of questions until you get to the root answer. It's also worth just asking the question to your subconscious. Why when I meditate do I notice that I'm so uncomfortable or scared or fidgety, or why do I get irritated? What's behind that? And just being curious, again, being curious about it is the start to your subconscious working on it. It's on your mind. You planted the seed. The question is there. So you can get a lot of answers that way. And everyone's funks are different, but the fundamentals of how you get out is through stillness. Also, getting sleep is huge. If these basic physical needs aren't taken care of, eating regularly, feeling nourished, feeling like you are really enjoying your meals, like you're sitting down, you're chewing them, you're not rushing and eating all the time. So there's these physical fundamentals that have to be happening if you want to have the most clarity and stillness to get yourself out of a funk, or to not be in the funk. This essentially is how you wouldn't be in a funk, is you you take the time to sit with yourself and create that space for stillness. You do it daily, maybe twice a day, morning, night, or just daily. And then you try to bring that stillness to everything you do, even if you're, physically in motion, like maybe I'm walking from my computer to get water downstairs, but on that path, I'm conscious. I'm like, okay, just relax, take the time to walk down and, be present in what's happening right here. Don't overthink. Don't run away with stress. It's okay. Everything's good. That's how you bring inner stillness to your whole day. But you also have very specific time that you are going to practice the inner stillness, the practice of it. And then there's those very fundamental physical needs: sleep, food, water. Some amount of, I think connection to others, either a friend or a partner or a group. A mix of those things is part of the human experience. We're meant to nourish ourselves with food. We're meant to drink water. We're meant to sleep and have, restful, rejuvenating sleep and nutrition. And we're also meant to have connections to other humans that are fulfilling and nourishing relationships. If those fundamentals are not happening at a base level, and the stillness isn't happening, and you could be doing most of them but not some of them, so it's not like everyone has to be doing. My point is, all of those should be getting hit, and if there's a few of those or one or all that are not getting hit in your life and don't feel balanced within those things, it's likely you're thrown off of your path and you're in a funk and you're not receiving clear information on how to get out of the funk. So that's what this video is about. I'm telling you how to get out of the funk. You need stillness, and you need those physical daily habits that just are ingrained habits. So if you're someone who constantly skips meals, and then it puts you in a really hungry state, and you get impatient or desperate to eat, and you run and grab something that you wouldn't normally have grabbed because blah blah blah, I'm just trying to give you an example of that physical, that fundamental physical well-being part of your life that everyone needs is out of whack. And that's going to create issues. That's going to create a funk. But that goes for any of those areas. If you're constantly low on sleep, or not catching up, not getting the quality sleep that you need to feel rejuvenated and healthy every day, there's also going to be issues, which will lead to a funk if the issues last long enough. But the same goes for all those areas. So the physical, I keep saying physical, but the social relationships, and to some degree that feels right for you, that's healthy and supportive, that's what we're looking at: healthy and supportive habits across the board. I have time for stillness, and I make the time, and I integrate stillness and inner knowing into my day. I eat in a way that is nourishing and supportive of my body, my mind, and my emotions. I sleep in a way that is supportive and rejuvenates me. I hope I didn't say that one first already. No, stillness was first. Food is second. And I'm trying to keep this all in my head, but you get it. Water is part of that. But these are not complicated ideas. That's the thing. They're so simple, but our society has gotten so complicated that we forget the stillness. We forget the basics. So let's return to the basics. Okay, see you.